Yeah, and it's very interesting, this whole sort of scenario that she talks about. It's a street scene. Someone, yells out to her, "Are you a lesbian?" I think it's obvious that they're sort of like trolling her. They want to get a response out of her, or get something, sort of political action, right? And then she responds in a very sort of just straightforward way and just basically answers the question. And she says, even though this was a sort of negative, um, antagonistic type sort of setup, she says, it doesn't depend on the person who's asking this antagonistic question. You know, it's always going to be two people in a conversation, and so how the other person responds to that, there can be this, moment of agency, or moment of sort of um, where the self and the other, where the two people in the conversation have a possibility to go beyond their partisan bickering. So it's a nice little, anecdote that she tells there, and and it sort of shows her political praxis, right, from sort of the very daunting philosophy, or philosophical challenges that she presents. And then this last part is really, I think, very of the now, right? Very talking about like what constitutes political speech, protected political speech, the idea of censorship, and all these other things. So, I think it's pretty good stuff here at the end, and that's the more or less the interview there. So again, Judith Butler is again sort of, she's providing this philosophical, political sort of framework, um, which you might find useful for understanding the arguments that Ansel Dua is making, who is making these arguments in a more creative, aesthetic way, and also much more radical in her presentation. Um, but it's, it might just give you just, it might be a better way for you if, again, as I said before, if you're more philosophically oriented, you might prefer Butler over Ansel Dua and sort of what she's talking about and how she's talking about it. Okay, that's it for this podcast. Good luck with this information. We'll see you on the other side.